My name is Niels, and thank you for the invitation here to go to Finland. And I've never been so far north in Finland like this. I've been in Helsinki. Yes, many years ago. I'm working in Skåne in the southern part of Sweden with extension in dairy production. And also, you have...
No, it's okay. Go on.
Okay. And I also have some projects within feeding of dairy cows. And I'll talk about a competition we have actually in lay production to produce the best lay for the cows. Is the idea. A little bit about the background. Oh, no, page down. Yeah.
You have to... There's a...
Okay. Yeah, I have to go there then. Yeah. Oh no. Go up. Yeah. Oh. There we have it. Yeah. We have this competition in lay production. And please interrupt me if you don't. If I'm not clear in what I'm saying. I know this English is always a little bit hard. Also for me. But we have this, the main thing about this presentation is this competition. And what is the background for that competition? Why do we do it? It's about the protein utilization in the dairy cow. Around 10% of like the concentrate protein is actually in the milk yield. And this is a meta-analysis of a Finnish professor, actually, Pekka Huttunen. He did that for some years ago. And he also found out that you could nearly get 90% of the maximum yield from the dairy cow just with feeding lay and cereals, or silage and cereals, going through these different research projects. And he also found that if we could increase the digestibility of the silage with 1.5%, that will give the same milk yield as raising the crude protein in the whole ratio with 1%. And often when we make feed ration and raise the crude protein content, we do it by feeding more concentrates. So you have a little bit other system, but what we want to do in the cow is to make the microbes do as much as this metabolizable protein to the cow here. We call it in Sweden AAT in the feed and AAT from the microbes, or the metabolizable protein from microbes or from the feed. And this from the feed is often from the concentrate. It's very expensive and the cows don't use it that effectively. So when we go up in yields, we always focus on more and more of this AAT, or expensive protein from concentrate, but it's much more effective actually to really improve the microbial process in the rumen and work really with the energy colhydrates in Swedish, or the carbohydrates, the energy for the microbes, and match it with the protein. So that's the whole idea actually, to get more microbe protein from the cow, from the lay. And again, the background is most of this protein in the concentrate. We import it. And I work a lot with organic dairy production, and in Sweden it's soya actually mainly. You don't use soya, I know, at all in dairy production here in Finland. But also with the rapeseed, where you use a lot, it's often imported. Then we did some trials on 8 organic farms for some years ago. And we took away the protein concentrate in the feed ration there on a part of the cows in these 8 farms. And there we saw that the crude protein, when we had that strategy, and that was, we wanted to test the Hutanain's ideas and also some experience we have done earlier in Sweden. But we saw we had too little crude protein when we took away the concentrate on these farms. So that was, what could we do then? Because it is all about this lay quality and lay production. So we thought, why not go for a competition in lay production. I think I will jump over this part. You can take that. We want to make a competition for better lay forests, and letting some of the best in Sweden go for push them to really get in, come up with the best strategies to get a good lay production. And we have 5. I just have to see here. Yeah, we have 5 competitors, so to speak. It's a private advisor, Herman Legedør, and then it is a group of organic advisors in the whole of Sweden. It's where I work actually, Hushållningssällskapet, but it's not just for Skåne, it's a national group. And then it's Lantmännen, it's the biggest company for feed and seeds in Sweden, who is also a part of the competition. And then a farmers team, Martin and Torbjörn, they are farmers in Halland and in Småland in the middle, like southern part of Sweden, but still quite a bit north of Skåne. And then a Danish team, some old colleagues from me. I'm actually Danish from the start, but I've been living in Sweden for 35 years. So we asked them, what are you okay with getting into this competition and try to find the best way to produce lay? To achieve lay, so we don't need actually protein concentrate. And the main issues we asked to achieve was protein yield, and the goal was 175 gram per kilogram dry matter in a 4-cut system in the southern part of Sweden. And to get the best digestibility or energy content, and of course a high yield with the lowest cost. And then we made a rating system, a score system out of this, where protein yield actually counts double compared to the other 3 aspects. So we have made some kind of different accounting systems for this, so we can make a ranking after the yields. And then we have one more issue that we came up with, which is discussed very much in Sweden, and that's irrigation for lay. So we have the possibility on this experimental farm to have plots which are irrigated, and of course we compare with the non-irrigated. So they got 3 plots of each, irrigated and non-irrigated. And we established this in 2024. So now we are into our 2nd lay year, but we can go on for 3 years. So that's really nice, or 4 years in total. They established in 2024, and then 3 years of lay. And that's very interesting, because many times, a lay develops over the year, and which mixtures are really cope with the winter period and all this. But all the plots are harvested at the same time, and that's for practical reasons, and in a four cut system. So in 2025, it was the first cut in the 20th of May, and then the 1st of July, and the 13th of August, and the 4th, 25th of September. And now we have this year, but I will present results for 2025, but we have now done 2 cuts here in 2026, but I haven't managed to get the results analyzed yet. And what can the teams actually influence? That's the main thing. That's the lay mixture. What kind of lay species can they use? And then they have the possibility to use fertilization, which is approved in organic production. And all plots receive 30 tons of slurry in springtime from cow slurry, just across all plots. So, but they can do some additional fertilization with especially with corn, potassium and sulfurous sulfur. Yeah. And where are we? Yeah, we are quite south compared to you, where we are today. I would guess we are up here somewhere, and we are down here in the very, very south of Sweden. So it's very different from where you live. And this experimental farm is called Helgegården, where I work. It's in the northeast of Skåne, and here we have Copenhagen. So there's of course very different conditions from here, but I think still we can learn something from it. And the irrigation looked like this. It's like a PIVO, we call it. It's a central irrigation system which go over the whole experimental farm, and we can adjust down to these small plots, which are only 3 meters broad and 12 meters long, and they can adjust with these for each plot. So that's very nice, but also some problems in adjusting this. But that's another story. So these teams, they came up because we put so much focus on protein. They came up with very high shares of legumes in their mixtures, and a lot of alfalfa or lucerne, what you call it here, was in it. The darker green is clover, and the light green is lucerne in these. So 4 teams had quite high lucerne proportion, up, you see, or 46% of legumes in Herman's mixture, and a very high proportion of legumes. The organic advisors had more clover and less lucerne, but still lucerne was, or alfalfa was in the mixture. And also the agriculture or Lantmännen agricultural company was over 30% in legumes, half can say clover and half alfalfa. And then the farmers team, they only went to clover mixture. So that was nice actually for the competition. And then the most extreme was the Danes. They went to 64% legumes and nearly a pure alfalfa mixture, and only a little white clover in it. And for Swedish condition, they only had perennial. We'll see the mixtures, but they only had perennial ryegrass as a grass in it, and that's a no-no in Sweden actually. because also they also always die out quite easily in the winter. We find that, but they went for that, or still in the mixture. Yeah, just to go through the mixtures. Oh, we are going quite. Maybe I have to. I'll take one of the mixtures, and then you'll have to read the mixtures in detail in the presentations. You can get that. But if we go for this first one, Herman's mixture, it's quite traditional with Timothy. I think you use that a lot. But then alpha, 2 types of alpha, 17%, the Swedish Lantmännens mixture, or sort or species from Lantmännen, and then Swedish Scandinavian seed, 17%, so 34% of lucerne, and then perennial ryegrass, and then Maksimointi, fall fiscal, yeah, and then red clover, 2 species, and white clover. And the first cuts 2025, it looked very nice, like 50 centimeter high, and he has also he had used a lot of potassium sulfate, and also when it was seeded, he used some sulfur in the first year. But the alpha came out very, very nicely and dominating. This organic advisors mixtures was very diverse, and they wanted really to use a lot of different species and what is it called? Varieties. Thank you. And it was also to make everybody satisfied. Oh, thank you. But very traditional, also not with tall fiskew, but with engsvingel, meadow fiskew, which is more traditional. Yeah, they used some Lögebygro. It's from the potatoes industry in the southern part of Sweden, which is potassium fertilizer. Yeah, you know that as well. And then Lantmännen, it's actually a commercial mixture which you can buy but with some new varieties on tall fiskew and a new perennial ryegrass. And then the farmer's mixture is actually, I don't know if you discuss Nutrifiber up here. It's a Holland Dutch mixture. They are quite trying to sell it, but they have their own varieties from Holland. But here they use the farmers team use the Swedish varieties, and up to 50% of tall fiskew. So it's a tough mixture with digestibility questions. We don't want that much actually, but it's very persistent mixture actually, I find it. And then the Danes went for this very high proportion of alfalfa with some white clover and some perennial ryegrass. Yeah, and what happened after these 4 harvests 2025? The result is that these organic advisors, they have the highest point in this rating system we have done, but it's very close between the advisors, the Danes, and the Herman, the private advisor. And then the farmers and Lantmännen is down a little bit after in the group here, the first year. And there's different reasons for that. We can go into the different aspects for this. Actually, Landmännen got the highest protein yield and the highest point. And all teams reached this goal we had on 175. That was really surprising. And often we see alpha is slowly in establishment, but the teams with alpha or Lucerne dominated mixture, they came out very good and it established very fast the alpha. And the farmers got the lowest point, but all got over this level that we have set. So that was quite surprising, I think. And the irrigation gave, in that aspect, a little bit higher. We have the irrigated and the non-irrigated here. Especially in the clover mixture here, we got some higher level of protein. Energy, yeah, the alpha is known for that. It's quite high. It's the digestibility of alpha and can often be hard to get up high. So the farmers are last, but they are highest in energy actually. And the Danes are around only 10. We use metabolizable energy, and we wanted to reach the target of 11 megajoule per kilogram dry matter, but only the farmers reached that over the 4 cuts. And in yield, when you have plots, it's so optimal condition. We only harvest the middle part. So often if we go to practical conditions, we say that these plots are actually what we could only say could give 70% on the field level. So that's corrected here. So 4 teams are very close on a very high yield, around 10 tons of kilogram dry matter, whereas the farmers went down to nearly half on that. So the clover mixture really struggled in the non-irrigated plots, only with 4 tons of dry matter. So especially we had a very, very dry season. And also this year the same. We are still, the groundwater level is low and it's been raining very little after the first cut. So the irrigated parts got around 2.4 ton more of yield compared to the non-irrigated, and especially the alpha mixtures up here, they have less effect of the irrigating part, and that's you could what we call that was expected actually. Lucerne is known for good can better struggle with dry conditions. But then the input costs, that was really what came. This is the cost above harvesting just for the input that they chose to do after the slurry and the harvesting. And there the Landmännen, they used so much input, so they really got minus points on that part. But they still have the highest crude protein, so they really went for that, but it cost too much. And I went through a little bit fast that part, but they used a lot of commercial organic fertilizers, so that was too expensive actually. And here we have the yield through the different cuts, and and the irrigated and the non-irrigated. It's going parallel, but a little bit better for the irrigated part. And the crude protein is a little bit higher also through all the cuts. In the fourth cuts, it was the same actually. A little bit better energy, especially in the second and the third cut with the irrigated part. And also with potassium, we saw a little bit higher level in the irrigated plots, and that was expected as well. So reflections after this first year in the competition. All teams went over the target of 75 grams of crude protein. It was harder to reach the energy target, especially in the second and the third cut. Irrigation, it provided security, but the question is it's a lot of cost also to establish irrigation. So is these 2.4 ton dry matter and a slightly better nutritional value, is that enough to pay all this? And we saw that irrigation got the plots in the irrigated areas were a little bit higher in mineral content overall. But this irrigation part, and it's going on now further on, and I think it's really interesting to go into the different mixtures to see what the effect we have there. We will just jump over that. Okay, I think we will stop there then. The time is in also. As I said, the competition is still running, and we have 2 more years to go here. And it's one part to have this competition, but it has created a lot of discussion and also a lot of articles in papers and so on, discussion about these mixtures and what to do with the lake. And that's actually the main purpose also with it. It's to create more, at the kitchen table, discuss what mixtures do we want to do, and also I think sulfur fertilization has came up as a quite interesting part in this. That for the legumes, sulfur is really important, and this is interesting to go deeper into.